about the WNBA Finals.
The WNBA Finals should have been the peak of women's basketball, right? All that passion, drama, and huge stars like A'ja Wilson and Dana Bonner. But honestly, the real moment hit when they walked into those gyms and saw rows and rows of empty seats. What was supposed to be the most epic event in the league just ended up feeling pretty embarrassing.
I believe y'all don't care. I think y'all care about the drama around it. I do believe that, but I don't think you care about the events itself. And judging by ticket prices, neither does anybody.
Look, there were just no fans. And get this, tickets were super expensive, but none of the buzz we saw with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever was there. It was beyond embarrassing. It was just plain frustrating for two of the best players in the game. You could see their annoyance on camera, and their angry comments about the empty seats were definitely caught on mic. But underneath all that anger, there was a growing feeling that the WNBA's hype had faded, and it felt like nobody cared to watch if Caitlin Clark wasn't around.
If ever there was proof that the Caitlin Clark fans / Fever fans are now the overwhelming majority of the fandom, look at ticket prices for finals games.
I think there'd be so much excitement for the WNBA Finals. We're talking about two incredible teams, amazing players on both sides, and MVP-level talent ready to battle for a championship. But as game day got closer, something just felt off. There were no packed arenas, no sports bars buzzing with fans, no viral moments exploding on social media. Instead, fans were just in shock when they checked ticket sites. Championship game tickets, for what should be the biggest stage in women's basketball, were going for as little as $30. It truly felt like it was going to be a ghost town.
Game one, the get-in price for game one matchup between the Aces and the Mercury for a WNBA Finals game. Holy hell, there's $35 seats right there. Right there. Plenty of good seats available.
A'ja Wilson, the MVP and face of the Las Vegas Aces, just couldn't hide how disappointed she was. She expected a loud, crazy, hyped-up finals. But during warm-ups, when she saw all those empty red seats, she apparently just muttered to herself, "This is the finals?" It wasn't her being arrogant. It was pure disbelief.
Look at that. Wow. $35 whole. This might be the best part of the video for the WNBA, because when you gauge the interest, to gauge the interest of this series, and it was ugly.
Bonner have put in years of work, fighting to make this league bigger. But there they were, playing in front of scattered fans, with cameras constantly zooming in on all those empty spots in the stands, and Awana Bonner, she didn't hold back. You could see she was totally irritated during her post-game interviews after Game 1. Even with all her team's hard work, the crowd's silence was just deafening. She just flat out said, with a harsh tone, "You work your entire career for moments like this, and you just hope people care enough to show up." That one quote really summed up all the emotion.
Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, and the Mercury in the finals against A'ja Wilson and the Aces. Will you be locked in watching this series? ? Yes or no? Hit the poll. 4% of brave souls said yes. 96% said hail to the no.
The players on the court, in real time, started realizing that maybe the league's excitement was a lot more fragile than they thought. And it wasn't just them. Fans quickly noticed the lack of energy on social media. Photos of empty seats went viral, sparking huge debates about what went wrong. A lot of people pointed to one name missing from the finals entirely, while others blamed the league's marketing and those high ticket prices. What's crazy is that all season, rookie Caitlin Clark had absolutely ignited interest in women's basketball. Her games with the Indiana Fever consistently pulled in massive TV ratings and set attendance records. But without her, the finals just seemed to lose all its spark.
If the Fever and Caitlin Clark was playing in a finals game, let's say against the Mercury, with all that drama around there, Would there be a single ticket less than $300? Now, I mean, honestly, a single ticket less than $300. I don't think so. I think you'd have courtside seats go for $5,000. If Caitlin Clark was playing, if she was in these finals along with the Fever.
Executives, though, tried to spin it. They wanted to frame it as a battle between two historic franchises. But fans just weren't buying it. They wanted real stories, raw emotion, a compelling reason to truly care. And the league just couldn't deliver that this time. The finals were supposed to represent the highest level of competition. Instead, they exposed a really uncomfortable truth. The WNBA's appeal was still heavily centered around a few superstar personalities. By the end of Game 1, all the momentum was gone. People online were calling it the WNBA's quietest finals ever. The vibe in the arena didn't show a lack of skill, but a lack of community. Nobody was there to witness the stars shine. And A'ja Wilson and Dana Bonner were seriously fed up with that harsh reality.
You are not invested. You are not interested in watching this BS transpire on your television set.
It was supposed to be a proud moment for A'ja Wilson and Dana Bonner after Game 1 actually turned into a heated argument. Both these veterans had given absolutely everything to get their teams to the championship. But instead of roaring applause and flashing cameras, they were met with awkward silence in half-empty venues. The WNBA had promised respect, growth, and attention for the game, but it felt like the league just went backward overnight. For Dana and A'ja, it wasn't only about attendance numbers. It was about feeling abandoned by the very fans who were supposed to be finally rallying behind the league. Wilson's frustration was clear during the post-game press conference. Even though she spoke calmly, her words hit hard. "We're playing some of the best basketball out there," she said, "but it's like nobody's watching." That was a powerful statement, and she wasn't wrong. There was barely any national coverage, social media activity was flat, and game clips just didn't create any buzz compared to the viral sensation that followed every Caitlin Clark move during the season. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Bonner, on the other hand, didn't hold back at all. She was direct, heartfelt, and completely unapologetic. She declared, "It's disrespectful. We are worthy of crowded arenas. We are worthy of experiencing such energy." Her comments blew up on social media, with fans arguing if her anger was justified. Some totally sympathized, agreeing the league's marketing had missed the mark by ignoring what fans truly wanted to see. Others argued that she and other veterans had actually contributed to the division in the fan base. That's when the whole story started to shift. What began as frustration over poor attendance became a much bigger picture of the WNBA's growing problems, and it just kept highlighting it. What should have been a proud moment for A'ja Wilson and Dana Bonner after the first game ended became a huge argument. These veterans had given their all to reach the championship, but they were greeted with awkward quiet and half-empty venues instead of cheers and flashing lights. The WNBA had pledged growth and attention, but it felt like the league had just regret. Again, it wasn't only about attendance for Dana and A'ja, it was about feeling abandoned by the supporters who were meant to champion the league. Wilson's annoyance came out in the press conference. She spoke calmly, but her tone was powerful. "We're playing some of the best basketball out there," she stated, "but it's like nobody's watching." That was a powerful statement, and she was right. National coverage was minimal. Social media activity was stagnant, and game snippets barely registered compared to the viral craze every Caitlin Clark move generated during the season. The contrast was just impossible to ignore. Bonner didn't hold back either. She was direct and unrepentant. "It's disrespectful," she declared. "We are worthy of crowded arenas. We are worthy of experiencing such energy." Her remarks went viral, sparking debate among fans about whether her anger was justified. Some sympathized, agreeing the league's marketing had failed by ignoring what fans truly wanted. Others argued that she and other veterans had contributed to the fanbase's division. The narrative really started to change then. What began as dissatisfaction over low attendance became a much broader reflection of the WNBA's mounting difficulties. And again, there were just no fans present. Tickets were super expensive. Plus, none of the excitement that had followed Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever was there. It was embarrassing and honestly really aggravating for two of the league's top talents. Their frustration was on camera, and their scathing remarks about the lack of support were caught on mic. But beyond the anger, there was a deeper understanding. The WNBA's prominence had diminished, and without Caitlin Clark, nobody seemed interested in watching. What should have been a proud moment for Aja Wilson and Dana Bonner after Game 1 wrapped up turned into a pretty heated argument. Both veterans had given everything to get their teams to the championship, but they were met with awkward silence and half-empty venues instead of applause and flashing cameras. The WNBA had promised respect, growth, and attention, but it felt like the league had gone backward overnight. For Dana and Aja, it wasn't just about attendance numbers. It was about feeling abandoned by the very supporters who were supposed to be finally supporting the league. Wilson's annoyance became clear in the press conference after the game. Even though she spoke calmly, her tone was powerful. "We're playing some of the best basketball out there," she stated, "but it's like nobody's watching." That was a powerful statement, and she wasn't wrong. There was little national coverage. Social media activity had barely increased, and game snippets hardly stirred compared to the viral craze that met every move Caitlin Clark made during the season. The contrast was hard to ignore. Conversely, Bonner didn't mince words. She was direct, heartfelt, and unapologetic. She declared, "It's disrespectful. We are worthy of crowded arenas. We are worthy of experiencing such energy." Her remarks quickly went viral on social media, with followers arguing whether her rage was warranted. While some expressed sympathy and agreed that the league's marketing strategy had backfired by neglecting what fans really wanted to see, others contended that she and other veterans had contributed to the division in the fan base. The story started to change at that point. What began as dissatisfaction over the poor attendance turned into a more comprehensive representation of the WNBA's mounting difficulties.